Okay, let's get one thing straight right from the start. This isn't about making you paranoid or suspicious of everyone you meet. Not at all. This is all about empowerment. What we're doing here is building a clear, solid framework for spotting patterns of control so you can protect your most valuable asset, your own peace of mind.
Just think about that for a second. You know the feeling, right? You walk into a chat feeling perfectly fine, maybe even great. And when you walk away, you just feel off, kind of heavy, tangled up inside. It's a really common feeling, and honestly, it's often the very first clue that something isn't quite right.
And these feelings, they aren't just random. They are the specific emotional leftovers, the residue of a manipulative interaction. You feel drained because, well, your energy has literally been siphoned away. Doubtful because your own perspective has been subtly picked apart. And confused because clarity, it's been scrambled on purpose.
And this right here, this contrast gets right to the heart of it all. You see, healthy communication, even a really tough disagreement, is all about trying to get to some kind of clarity, some mutual understanding. Manipulation is designed to do the exact opposite. It wants to create a kind of mental fog, because that fog makes it so much easier for the other person to control things.
So let's put a clear definition on it. A psychological manipulator is someone who influences you for their benefit, while chipping away at your clarity, your autonomy, or your confidence. And here's the crucial part. Their intent doesn't matter nearly as much as the impact. We're not talking about a one-time slip-up. We're looking for a consistent pattern where you keep feeling smaller and they keep getting what they want.
So where do we even begin? Let's start by breaking down the very first clues you should look for. And just remember, we're looking for a pattern here, not just a single incident. These are the signals that a destructive pattern might be starting to form. The number one, most reliable sign is that feeling of mental fog we were just talking about. If you consistently walk away from interactions with someone feeling like you have to replay the entire conversation over and over just to figure out what happened, pay very close attention to that. A confused mind is just easier to influence. It destabilizes you and it makes you more likely to accept their version of reality. Healthy connections shouldn't feel like detective work. Do any of these sound a little too familiar? Yeah, these phrases are absolute classics in the manipulator's toolkit. On the surface, they sound so reasonable, right? But what they're really doing is shutting down your feelings and shifting the responsibility for their actions right back onto you. And that leads us straight into the second warning sign. This is such a bizarre emotional sleight of hand. They do something that hurts you or confuses you, but somehow, by the end of the conversation, you're the one saying sorry. They are absolute masters at twisting the situation to make it seem like you're the problem. Okay, another huge red flag is just plain inconsistency. Their promises seem to be written in disappearing ink. The rules are always changing without warning, and the standards they hold you to, well, those don't seem to apply to them. They might apologize, sure, but their behavior never actually changes. This isn't just them being forgetful. It's a strategy to keep you off balance and insecure.
All right, so now that we know the early signs, let's dig into the specific tactics they use. I find it really helpful to think of this as a predictable playbook. Once you learn the plays, you can start to see them coming from a mile away.
Wow. This is probably one of the most damaging things anyone can hear. It's not just a disagreement, it's a direct attack on your reality. And it's the signature move of a very specific, very nasty tactic. And that tactic is, of course, gaslighting. Its entire purpose is to destroy your trust in yourself. So if you find yourself constantly thinking, am I crazy? Did I remember that wrong? Especially when you're around one specific person, that is a massive, massive red flag. They are systematically taking apart your confidence in your own mind.
Another classic. This phrase is precision engineered to trigger an immediate wave of obligation. And, you guessed it, guilt. It's the opening move for our next tactic.
This is all about taking good things, like love or sacrifice, or helping someone out and turning them into a weapon. They use these things to control you, basically turning a relationship into a transaction where you always feel like you're in their debt. It's an incredibly powerful way to control someone.
Let's quickly touch on two more really powerful tactics. First, creating fear and urgency. Phrases like, this is your last chance, they're designed to shut down your logical thinking so you'll make a quick decision that benefits them. And then there's love bombing, which is way more sneaky. They'll flood you with praise and affection to get you hooked, and then, once you're emotionally invested, they slowly start to introduce criticism and control. And finally, we have the perpetual victim. In their version of the story, they are never, ever at fault. It's always someone else, their boss, their friends, their family, who's out to get them. This isn't just venting. It's a full-blown strategy to get your sympathy and make you feel like you have to protect them, all while they avoid taking any responsibility for their own life.
Okay, so we've covered the signs and we've gone through the playbook. Now let's get to the most important part, a concrete test you can use to figure out what you're really dealing with. We're moving beyond single moments here to look for that undeniable pattern.
Now this is really interesting because it translates behavior into meaning. You see, when someone constantly disrespects your boundaries, it isn't about them being passionate. It's about control. When they punish your independence, that's their insecurity screaming. When they mock your confidence, it's not a joke. It's because your strength threatens their ego. Seeing one of these is a reason to be cautious. Seeing a bunch of them, that's a pattern.
So, I want you to ask yourself these two questions, and be really honest. Is this a one-time thing, or does it happen over and over and over again? And maybe even more important, do you feel that knot in your stomach at the very thought of disagreeing with them? Your fear, that is a powerful piece of data. Don't ignore it.
And then kind of zoom out. Over the whole course of this relationship, have you grown or have you shrunk? Healthy relationships make you feel more like yourself. Manipulative ones make you feel smaller. And finally, just ask, who is really benefiting from this whole dynamic? If it's always lopsided in their favor, well, you've got your answer.
If you need one single definitive test, this is it. This is the one. Pay very close attention to how someone reacts when you say no or set even a simple boundary. A healthy person will respect it. They might not like it, but they will respect it. A manipulator will punish you for it. They'll hit you with anger, guilt, the cold shoulder, or mockery. That moment is their most revealing. It tells you everything.
Okay, so recognizing the pattern is the first massive step, but what do you actually do about it? In our final section, we're going to lay out an actionable plan to help you protect yourself and get your clarity back.
Here are 5 practical things you can do. 1. Slow down. Manipulators love to create urgency, so just give yourself time to think. 2. Ask for specifics. All that vague pressure just crumbles when you ask for details. 3. Keep a record, even if it's just a mental one, to protect yourself from gaslighting. 4. Use neutral responses. You don't have to explain or defend yourself. No is a full sentence. And finally, number 5, trust the long-term pattern, not their latest apology.
And that brings us to the final and most important question to ask yourself. The next time you're about to make a decision that involves this person, just pause and check in with yourself. Ask, am I making this choice freely because I want to, or am I just trying to manage their reaction, trying to avoid the punishment I know is coming if I don't go along? That one question, it will tell you everything you need to know.